Let's be honest. Most people scroll through life thinking they'll get rich when something magical happens. Maybe a lottery win. Maybe stumbling upon the next trending stock right before it takes off, or waiting for an unexpected inheritance. And because of that, they ignore the single most predictable, boring, underrated wealth-building strategy in human history: compound interest. The truth is, compound interest doesn't care if you grew up broke, if you don't have millionaire parents, or if you have debt today. It doesn't even require you to be brilliant at picking winning stocks or timing the next big IPO. All it asks for is time, patience, and consistency. And here's where it gets juicy. Compound interest applied with discipline can turn ordinary amounts of money into life-changing wealth. Small dollars invested wisely, whether in dividend-paying ETFs, index funds, or simple bonds, can spiral upward into multi-million-dollar portfolios if you start early enough and don't quit. So let's break this down step by step. By the end of this, you won't just understand compound interest. You'll see how to use it like a wealthy insider, growing your assets in a way that feels unbeatable no matter where you're starting from today. If you're hungry for success and eager to learn, hit that subscribe button. We're here to share the secrets and strategies to accelerate your journey. All right, let's get started. Number 1, start tiny, stay consistent. The biggest myth is that you need a lot of money to start investing. People think if you can't throw $10,000 into the stock market tomorrow, it's not worth it. Wrong. Compound interest thrives on time, not just amount. You could start with $50 a month, and if you stay on track, that weak-looking $50 will outperform someone who invests $500 a month but starts 10 years later. If you put just $100 a month into an S&P 500 index fund with an average annual return of 10%, which is pretty much what the S&P has averaged over the long term in America, after 30 years, you wouldn't just have the $36,000 you contributed. You'd have around $200,000. That's the magic of equity growth through compound interest. And guess what? If you did $500 a month on the same schedule, that's over $1 million, not because of some hedge fund opening its doors specially for you, but because of plain, boring compounding. Every wealthy tree you've ever seen started out as an ugly little seed. Ignore the people who say you can't get rich off $50. The truth is, they don't understand exponential growth. The earlier and the smaller you start, the larger and more powerful this snowball becomes. Your job is just to roll that snowball as soon as possible. Number 2, play the long game, not the fast game. Here's where most people quit. They hear about compound interest, they start throwing $200 a month into investments, they do it for a year or two, and then they look at their portfolio and think, that's it? All that effort for just a few $1,000s? And then they stop. That's the tragedy. Compound interest is like a plane taking off. At the beginning, it feels like forever on the runway. But once it lifts and the momentum carries it upward, it becomes unstoppable. The wealthy understand this. That's why they don't look for overnight riches with risky IPOs or gambling on tiny tech startups. They focus on steady wealth-building strategies, knowing the curve bends upward dramatically over time. Here's the secret. Most of the wealth from compounding comes toward the end, not the beginning. Let's say you invest in real estate rental properties worth $50,000 early and hold them long enough. The rent becomes cash flow and the property value doubles, then triples, adding compound growth without you adding a single extra dollar. The same happens in the stock market, where long-term appreciation combined with reinvested dividends can explode your net worth. Fast money may look cool, but it rarely lasts. Long-term compounding is boring, but it's unstoppable. That mindset shift, from fast money to patient equity growth, is everything. Number 3, automate everything. Here's where discipline meets technology. Most people fail with compound interest not because it doesn't work, but because they forget to feed it. Life gets busy. Emergencies happen. You say, I'll invest next month. Next month turns into next year turns into never, and suddenly decades are gone. Look at it this way. Would you rather put in emotional energy every month asking yourself, do I want to invest this time? Or set one system in place and get on with your life while your net worth grows on autopilot? Automation is the wealthy person's best friend. The less room for human error, the more consistent the compounding effect. You can even split automation across different assets: bonds for stability, mutual funds for diversification, dividend stocks for passive income, and index funds for long-term appreciation. That's not just investing. That's embracing a portfolio that keeps working while you sleep. Number 4. Reinvest, don't cash out. Here comes the tough love. If you're withdrawing your dividends just to spend them, you're sabotaging your compound interest. Imagine you're growing a money tree. Every time you pick off the fruit early, you're shrinking the tree's chance to get bigger. The wealthy don't eat their seedlings. They let them keep growing until the tree produces more fruit than they can possibly eat. If you invest in real estate, reinvesting looks like taking the rental income and putting it into another property or paying down the loan faster. In the stock market, reinvesting means you automatically buy more shares of dividend-paying ETFs or index funds whenever payouts occur. This cycle means you're not just growing in one direction, you're compounding from multiple streams: stock market appreciation, plus cash flow growth, plus reinvested dividends. Resist the lifestyle upgrade trap. Don't let your first $10 dividend turn into pizza money. Let it snowball until it becomes your freedom fund. Small sacrifices now equal massive compounding later. That's the rule. Number 5. Respect time more than timing. People waste years trying to guess the perfect time to invest. They panic watch CNBC, waiting for some hedge fund analyst to call the next crash or boom. And in their waiting, they miss the entire point of compound interest. It's about time in the market, not timing the market. Let's play with two friends. Sarah starts investing $200 a month at 22 years old and does it consistently until she's 32, then stops. 10 years, that's it. Meanwhile, John procrastinates until age 32, then invests $200 a month religiously for 30 years straight until age 62. Guess who ends up richer? Sarah does, with less total money invested, because her money had more time to compound. That's how powerful early starts are. Whether it's Apple shares multiplying in value over decades or rental properties doubling in price after years of neighborhood growth, the truth is clear. Compounding rewards patience, not perfection. Number 6. Understand the rule of 72. If you've ever wanted a super simple formula to predict your money's future, the rule of 72 is about to blow your mind. It goes like this. Divide 72 by the annual rate of return on your investment, and you'll know how many years it takes your money to double. No complex math, no PhD required, just 72. For example, if your money grows at 8% a year through an S&P 500 index fund, divide 72 by 8. That's 9 years. So every 9 years, your money doubles. If you start with $10,000, in 9 years, it's $20,000. Another 9, $40,000. A third round, $80,000. Keep going long enough and you'll see how $10,000 can quietly mature into millions if you let time do the heavy lifting. The rule of 72 is a mindset reminder more than just a math hack. It says, quit obsessing over quick profits. Let every investment breathe, grow, and mature. Find a steady return, stick with it, and watch the clock work in your favor. Once you internalize this, you'll never look at your portfolio the same again. Number 7. Play infinite games, not finite games. Most people treat wealth like a competition. Who's richer? Who bought the Tesla first? Who's flexing on Instagram with the better vacation? That's short-term, finite game thinking, and it's why so many people crash financially when the music stops. Think of it like this. A person chasing finite games might gamble their life savings on a risky IPO, hoping for one massive payout. If it collapses, their game is over. But the one playing infinite games diversifies across index funds, bonds, rental property, and dividend stocks. Even if one side of their portfolio struggles, the game continues. Don't chase trophies. Build systems that make sure you never have to step off the field. Number 8. Why small wins matter. People underestimate the power of small wins. They imagine wealth as one big jackpot moment, striking early IPO allocation, flipping rental properties overnight, or cashing out on a hedge fund. But the truth? Real wealth is built from boring, consistent small wins stacked together over years. Small wins rewire your psychology. You stop viewing money as an obstacle and start treating it as a partner. Each win builds confidence, and confidence fuels bigger moves like buying that rental property, investing in index funds, or expanding your portfolio with bonds and mutual funds. By the time others wonder how you pulled ahead, the secret is clear. You built momentum brick by brick, not in one lucky swing. So here's the truth. Compound interest doesn't care where you started. It doesn't care if you're in debt today or if your paycheck feels small. It doesn't care about your past mistakes. What it does care about is patience, discipline, and consistency. Here's the final reminder. Anyone, yes, anyone, can do this. You don't need to be in America. You don't need Wall Street connections. You don't need genius IQs. And you don't need to hit the perfect stock market appreciation curve. You just need to start, stay, and let compounding prove itself. I believe that together, we can build a better, wealthier future. If this inspires you, like it, share with your closed ones so they can benefit from it too, and subscribe to continue this journey with me. Now, if you want to know the worst compounding errors people make that kill their profits, then watch this video. I'll see you there.